everyone, and welcome back to Black Cats TV. We're back talking all things Chelsea. Mike, how have you been?
Yeah, not bad. I'm fighting with a kid in the background, so I apologise for any background noise.
That's all right. Well, hopefully they'll have calmed down, dissipated in the meantime while people like and subscribe. Do it now. I always forget to do this bit, but do it right now. So check out this video I've done with Charlie, the host of a YouTube channel called Blue Brother. So go and check it out. I will put a link in the description. We'll talk all things Chelsea, and then we'll come back to me and Mike. Right, everyone, I'm here with Charlie from Blue Brother. How are you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Looking forward to this. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. Yes, we've just done a show on your one as well, so now it's time to flip the script, shall we say. And so I wanted to first start off with, how's it been to be champions of the world?
It's good, actually. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. You know, we get to remind everyone with the gold badge on the chest every game that we play, and that's going to be there for the next 4 years. But yeah, it was a great summer, enjoyable, great to obviously win that competition. I don't really think a lot of Chelsea fans thought we had a serious chance of winning it. So to get that done, you know, it kind of, well, I suppose it ends last season on a high and almost starts this one on a positive note as well. But that's kind of in the past now. We've got to focus on what we're doing at the moment, and it's been a bit of a mixed bag to start the season, that must be said.
Yeah, I was thinking that because you had a sort of weird season where it went so long, and then your pre-season was almost while everyone else was in their stride of pre-season, and then, like you say, your results have been, I don't want to say poor because we're on the same points as you and have the exact same sort of score. So I think we're all right because we were 2 points away from top the other day, or second at least. So it's not too far, but yeah, there's been some strange results for Chelsea, shall we say? And do you think that had an impact because of the Club World Cup and the delayed sort of signings?
Of course, going so deep into the season, not having a pre-season, only having sort of just under 3 weeks break for a lot of the players, that was always going to hinder us at the start of the season. We've got to manage players carefully. We've got to manage the squad really well, make the most use of the players that we've got. And we have picked up a few injuries, which is no coincidence when you look at the teams that went far in the Club World Cup. PSG have had a number of injuries as well, and there's definitely a correlation there. Having said that, I did expect us to start a little bit slow in the first couple of games, just for those reasons. But the goalless draw against Palace on the opening day was not looking like an awful result now when you see how well they're doing. So we beat Fulham and West Ham. I think that the disappointing results are, the one away at Man United where obviously the goalkeeper gets sent off in the first 5 minutes and then the manager takes all the attackers off and you kind of give up that game, which is really frustrating. The Brentford game as well, we were 2-1 up there in stoppage time and you can't defend the long throw-in. That's another 2 points dropped. Brighton at home as well, we were in the ascendancy, 1-0 up, comfortable in that game. Another red card and then it all falls apart. So you look at Chelsea and look, we're 5 points off the top, but we should really be top of the league with Arsenal because we should have held on against Brentford and we should have at least beaten one of Brighton or Man United. So we look at it that point of view, you're like, well, we're actually doing all right. But then you look at it the other way and you're like, well, given the run of fixtures that we've had at the start of the season with Liverpool, the only supposed tough fixture we've had, it's a bit disappointing not to be higher up the table and with more points on the board.
Yeah, exactly. And we're getting pelters for that, shall I say, at the moment, when everyone before the season was going, you'll go down, you'll have no points after this long, and then we've won some games, and then they're like, oh well, they're all easy games, and you're like, all right, okay, what next, sort of thing. So within that sort of reason, Chelsea is going to be our sort of first toughest game of the season, really, because we couldn't really count Man United at the moment yet, quite in that one. But it's interesting about the Liverpool thing though, because is there a little bit of you that's like, well, we've got these strange performances, the likes of Brighton, like you say, where you're winning, cruising, comfortable, and then it sort of goes away. The Brentford one, I can speak from the Sunderland, we were all a bit disappointed that you didn't hold on because Brentforders are like one of those ones where like, well, if they could just keep dropping some points every now and again, that's someone who's down there, potentially with us. And then you go and beat Liverpool. And I don't want to sound too bad. I know the scoreline. I thought you were quite comfortable in that game, really.
Yeah. We played very well in that game, and credit to us for that. But this is the thing with us, right? We've shown that we can beat any team on our day. It's just the consistency that we lack. So we'll like put a performance like that in against Liverpool, and then it wouldn't be a surprise the following game if we drop points. Luckily we didn't. We followed it up with a win against Forest. But it's the sort of thing that we do. We're really striving for that consistency now. we've shown that we can raise our game for a one-off game against, any top team. We've proven we can beat the top teams in a one-off match. What we're really striving for now is that consistency week in, week out in the league. And that is hard to get when you've got such a group of young players. That's one thing that youngsters don't have is consistency. And it's about finding a way of instilling that consistency and getting that level of performance from these players on a regular basis. So to be within 5 points of the top after 8 games, it's not terrible. I would have liked to have been closer, but I think we can be reasonably pleased with how things are going so far, even if there have been some disappointing results along the way.
I'm ecstatic being 5 points off top after 8
games. Well,
absolutely.
Yeah.
We really didn't think we'd be here at all. Just interesting, you're talking about the levels of performance, and I know I've seen from a few other Chelsea fans, and I have a good mate of mine who supports Chelsea and was always lived with him at uni in all the Drogba days and all the Lampard days.
Those are the great days,
yeah. So I always heard about them. It used to be a rivalry on FIFA for us, for Sunderland and Chelsea for years on end. But the Maresca, the manager, where do you stand on him? Because I know some Chelsea fans are still a bit iffy on is he the right man?
Yeah, look, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't an underwhelming appointment at the time, because it absolutely was. It's Chelsea Football Club, and you looked at the shortlist at the time, and it was Maresca, Kieran McKenna, and Thomas Frank as like the final 3. And with the greatest of respects to those managers, given what we've had in the past, you sort of look at that and you would sort of say that's maybe a shortlist for like a Brighton job or something along those lines. And so, look, he came in. It was a bit of a surprise. It was underwhelming. It's a rookie coach. Really, one season at Leicester where he won the league with the best team, so he delivered what was expected from him. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he's come into a really difficult environment at Chelsea, a really difficult job, a lot of pressure, and he's delivered. And he got us back in the Champions League. He picked up 2 trophies. Well, has he got things wrong? Absolutely, he's got things wrong. But I think people forget that this is a manager who is also very inexperienced. This is just his 3rd season right now in senior management. So he's learning on the job as well. And Chelsea's one of the hardest jobs in world football, just given the squad you've got. I don't mean in terms of, oh my God, he's got a terrible squad, but in terms of that, a lot of youngsters, a lot of difficult
the management of it all and the system that they've employed.
You've got to try and develop these players. And a lot of criticism he got last season was the fact that he wasn't really tactically adaptable. He was always reactive with subs rather than proactive. And he's shown towards the back end of the campaign and during the Club World Cup that, he can be tactically adaptable. He's shown that, he is proactive with subs now. He's making changes when he needs to make them rather than waiting for something to happen before doing it. So, yeah, this is... I'm happy with him. I like him. He's got a few things wrong this season, namely the Brighton game and the Man United game when we went down to 10 men. He managed that poorly, and he's actually subsequently come out and accepted that he needs to, work better in game when we do go down to 10. But I'm pleased with him, and I think he's doing a really good job.
I think so too. I mean, like you say about the tactics, the biggest example I saw of that was PSG in the Club World Cup final, when everyone was saying they're unbeatable. Look at this team; they blitzed through everyone, and he literally just went, "No, ball over the left back," and that was it. You were through the PSG sort of machine, and you hit them 3 times through exactly the same method every time, and that was it. They were done, and it was such a simple just thing that he was just like, "That's what we do. That's all we need to do to unlock this." And no one had spotted it for months on end. The Man United game, though, I wanted to get onto a different player before I come to the sort of the general lineup for yourself there. The goalkeeper, not replaced in the summer, when there was several options around there. And I think Petrovic was eyeing up number 1. We were interested in Petrovic for quite some time, but he went to Bournemouth in the end. And then I don't want to say left with Sanchez, because I feel harsh saying that. He is your number 1, but you were sort of like left with, this is your keeper and you have to go forward. And we've seen some good moments from him, but we've also seen the Man United moment where it was actually, you're 4 minutes in, just let him go. Yeah. Just let it go. You don't need to make that decision. Like, is that the sort of, because we like our long throw-ins and we like our set pieces, is that an area that Sunderland could particularly try and sort of pick at you on Saturday?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's more than fair. We saw we didn't really deal with it when Brentford launched it in the box. And yeah, if you launch it in the box, get balls in there, get men around the goalkeeper, I think you will certainly cause us problems. Lincoln in the Carabao Cup caused us issues doing a similar thing. So look, I'm not saying you're going to get success every time, but like you will, I think you'll cause problems by doing that. And just on Sanchez, like he's actually not been that bad this season. And the thing with him is, right, it's never really been his ability as a goalkeeper in terms of his shot stopping. That's actually always been pretty decent. Like that's not been bad during his time at Chelsea. The biggest problem has been his decision making in key moments and the fact that he always has got a major blunder in him. And that doesn't really seem to be getting stamped out. You know, this is a guy who's 26, 27. This is an experienced goalkeeper. And if you're still making those mistakes, it is a big problem. But outside of the United mistake, he's actually not been that bad this season. He's not really been a problem for us. But everyone's fully aware that if you're striving to win the Premier League, win the Champions League, which we absolutely are trying to do, both those things again, then you have to get a better goalkeeper. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's good to a certain level, absolutely. But like you say, if you want to be challenging for the league title, it needs somebody a little bit calmer, I think is probably the best way of saying it. What are we likely to see from Chelsea on Saturday? Like setup wise, your system at the back. So we know there's a few suspensions and a few injuries as well.
Yeah, so look, we actually had the Maresca made 10 changes from the side that played Forest for the Ajax game. And then because they got a red card in 15 minutes and because Ajax are actually quite frankly terrible, we were in a situation where we were able to rest loads of players, subbed a load of guys off at half-time. Enzo Fernandez went off, Caicedo went off, Mark Guiu went off at half-time. You know, we were able to rest a lot of players. Tosin was off, and I think Tosin will probably play at the back to try and counteract exactly what you were talking about in terms of those long throws and launching balls into the box. In terms of what sort of a setup we'll see, I think we'll see a back four, you know, out of possession, and then in possession it'll go to a 3 with probably Cucurella inverting into midfield. I think we'll see Reece James, probably Tosin and Achimpong, and then Cucurella at left back. In the midfield 2, I imagine will be Caicedo and Enzo. And then we probably go, I would imagine, I'd love Esteval to start. He played 90 against Ajax, and he's still only 18. He should be playing, but Maresca's managing him, and you've got to be careful with these young kids. I suspect we'll see Pedro Neto one side, Joao Pedro in the 10, probably Garnacho on the left, and then Mark Guiu up top. So kind of what we know, kind of our standard sort of setup where back four out of possession, and then in possession it'll go into a 3 with Cucurella inverting into the midfield.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do we, even though it was only a game and a half, do we get the former player scores against his club in Mark Guiu returning to score against us just for literally like 90 minutes of football for us, really?
Yeah, well, to be honest, he could score. I mean, he's actually done all right. I mean, look, I'm not a massive fan of him. That I don't think he's like unbelievable or anything. Look, he's 19 years old. He's still young. He come from Barcelona. He's obviously come through at a very good football upbringing at La Masia. They're producing youngsters left, right, and centre who are just doing ridiculous things. And he's serving a purpose for us right now. You know, he's doing well. And he can certainly contribute whilst Liam Delap's out. In terms of long-term future, I don't really think he's got one at the club. We've got Amiga coming in from Strasbourg, and you've got Pedro and Delap. So I don't really see much beyond this season. I think he might stay the whole season, although if Delap gets fit again, it obviously reduces his minutes. Maybe he might return to you guys. But football's got a funny way with writing stories, doesn't it? It wouldn't totally surprise me if he did score, but hopefully we won't see a no celebration for his maybe 100 minutes that he played.
Yeah, exactly. That, I think, as Sean Dyche would say, that'd be utter woke nonsense for 100 minutes of football. Yeah, exactly. I mean, just quickly, what do you think of Sunderland so far, and any sort of threats that we can cause Chelsea on the weekend?
Oh no, I've been so impressed with Sunderland. I'm delighted to see them doing so well. It's a breath of fresh air. It's a proper Premier League club, traditional Premier League club, as what I like to refer to them to. I was amazed by the amount of money you spent in the summer in terms of the players you bought. Not just the players you bought in, but the quality as well. We see sides come up and spend money, but it's one thing spending money, but it's one thing getting the quality as well. I'm just looking at the caliber of players that Sunderland have managed to sign, and I'm sure it's probably surprised you guys as well, but it's brilliant. I'm looking at players like Granit Xhaka. I'm looking at Nordi Mukulele. I'm looking at Diarra from Strasbourg. We're seeing players like Adingra, who's doing well at Brighton. You know, I'm looking at all these players and I'm thinking, wow, Sunderland are serious. They're doing some decent business. And and fair play to the club, the owners, they're giving Regis Lebris the best chance of keeping you guys up. And so far, you've made a really good start. I think that's the most important thing for the promoted sides as well. Get as many points on the board as possible, as early as possible. And Sunderland are are certainly doing that right now. I've been really impressed with what I've seen from them. I think they've done better than anyone would have thought, probably including Sunderland fans themselves.
Yeah, definitely. And it's our favourite bit of the show, actually, where we talk to people about what they think of Sunderland, because even we have to pinch ourselves a lot of times and go like, oh my God, like these players play for us. Oh my God, we're doing well. We're winning games left, right and centre. We're unbeaten at home after 4 games. It's been great. So, well, thank you for joining me. Where can people find yourself, Charlie, on your channel?
No, thank you for having me, mate. Pleasure to be here. Yeah, guys, you can find me at Blue Brother CFC on YouTube, also over on Chelsea Fan TV doing stuff as well. So feel free to check either of those channels out.
Brilliant. Well, I couldn't have said it better myself, but thank you for joining me, Charlie. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next one.
No, pleasure. Thank you.
So thanks to Charlie again for coming on and talking all things Chelsea. Hope you feel a bit better about what we're up against this weekend. But Mike, more importantly, we've had a little bit of news that Alderete is going to be out of the game, concussion protocol. But Reynildo's coming back in, of course, with his suspension over. What are your thoughts?
I mean, if it was any other team and we were looking at 4 at the back, it wouldn't bother me as much. I really do rate Alderete, but if you've got Nordy, Ballard, Reynildo, Hume, it sounds like a good back 4, but I'd like 5 against Chelsea.
Do you think a trader slots in there as a 5 as well?
I don't know. I'd like to see him somewhere like in the midfield so he can drop in and it can be a bit more fluid, but he's going to be a loss. He's definitely going to be a loss because not just defending. Look at the last game, the one person that didn't give up on the run down the left and manages to keep the ball in, which then led to a goal.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's definitely going to be a miss. But I mean, it's one game, which I'm glad of. They said he'll be back for Everton, right? So
potentially, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think we'll be fine. Reynildo's going to come in all guns blazing. He's missed it. He's going to drop kick
Kicking
somebody.
people
He's
left, right, and centre.
Flying headbutt. He's going to be out of cancer now. That's what
exactly.
He's going to be.
I think we're likely to see us do a back 5 like we did against Man United after half an hour. I think you're more likely to see probably Trader out as the right wing back, like you say, so that then he can slot into the midfield if we do want to make that into a sort of midfield 3 with Xhaka and Siddiqui. You then have Michele, Ballard, Reynildo as the left centre back, and then potentially Hume out as left wing back. That could be an option. Or the other option is Reynildo as left wing back. You have Trader, Ballard, and Michele across the back 3, and Hume as the right wing back as well.
I think I prefer that. I think Reynildo's best on that left.
Yeah, well, he bombs forward a lot.
He likes to bomb forward, that's what I'm saying. So I'd rather miss him on the left and have that cover than miss him in the centre.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair as well. I think we know the rest of the lineup's probably going to be Granit and Siddiqui in the midfield. We think there's going to be a 2 more than a 3. You'd likely think that Enzo's going to play. Interesting who's going to play out right. Does Talby get back in? Are we going to persist with Traore?
I think Talby will get back in. I think Wolves was the perfect game for Reggie Labrie to try Traore, to give this a try. Give Rigg a start, give Traore a start. It was the perfect game because if we can't beat bottom of the league, technically, when are you going to try these players? But now we're playing a top team. It's got to be his number 1 picks no matter what it is. And for me, Talby's going to win that. Adingra's still not firing on all cylinders. No. As much as I think we've still got to see the best out of Lafay this season. It just doesn't seem to have. He did a bit better last game.
Wolves was a lot better. Still some sloppy passes, as we talked about in the second half, but was instrumental in the first goal and turning his man to get it back to Nordy there. And then I know our famous conversation on Wednesday at Midweek Mackems is the Mayenda Isidore debate. Where would you fall on that one?
I think at some point we've got to see Mayenda start and Brobbey start. I don't know where Brobbey's at with his fitness, whether he can start yet or not, or where he's at with the team training. But I do want to see Mayenda get a few starts. It's kind of one of those games that, as a striker, would you want to start against Chelsea? I think you're going to be quite isolated either way. So who's better off playing off the last man? But then again, Isidore's been an asset at defending a lot of times, and he's got that height, so to have him back in set pieces and have that extra man defending, it's very difficult. You could throw in Broby and just completely mess them up, and they're like, "How do we deal with this? Because we've not seen him."
Yeah, bamboozle them right from the start with the selections. Yeah. So we think that's how we're going to line up. We've talked on midweek Mackens, of course, our predictions. I think you went for a 1-1. And
a conservative 1-1, which I regret because I've never predicted a draw.
So if you were being unconservative, but I won't count 2 predictions, I will take your midweek Mackens one for the score in the predictions leaderboard, which, by the way, has now nearly the same amount of people that we have in the Premier League. I think we've got 18 names. If I just bring this up here for us to have a look at.
Look at that compared to last season. We did a full half season and there was only 2.
I know. You're still up there in 3rd. You know, you were the first one of the ones underneath there, so you're still there. You are joint 18th, I will like to point out as well, though.
No, we're all joint 3rd. Come on.
Yeah, joint 18th. Yeah. So all you have to do to get involved in that, of course, is put your prediction down in the comments of this video. We'll add it to the leaderboard. Mike, you'll be doing a live stream on Saturday.
I will be, and that's why it's going to be 3-0 to Sunderland, because I'm doing a live stream.
I would prefer that. When I seem to do the live streams, we've lost them both, which was Burnley, 3 of them, Burnley, Huddersfield, and Man United. So we've lost all of those games.
I tell you what, I'm going to say 5-0 to Sunderland, only to give me the odds, because if we get 5-0, you've got to give me the point, even though I said 1-1 before.
If it goes, but then if it goes 0-0, I get 2 points.
No,
didn't think I was going to land that one somehow. I just didn't think, if I get it spot now, exactly. I didn't know.
Everyone's going to want that. If I've got a correct score, so,
If it goes 5-0, yes, I'll allow you to have swapped your prediction from the 1-1 for that one, But remember that when I want something in the future as well,
Sure.
So, well, thank you for joining us. Thanks to Charlie again from Blue Brother. So, we'll make sure you hit that you'll make sure you hit that like and subscribe and hype button, whatever that does, as a video I made for Mikey today. Yeah, exactly. When it just jumps out the screen and goes, "Hey, check this out." It does the jazz hands. That's all it seems to do. So, we'll see you on Saturday for the live stream of Chelsea. So take care, everyone. And I'm going to find the button to do it, though. Goodbye now.
Bye.